This is going to be an interesting one. I know you're already writing in the comments which one is your favorite, and there's a lot of hate comments already being imagined in your brain. But hold that thought for just a second. In this video, we're going to talk about some interesting devices that have proven their capability over the past year and are mostly flagships for a lot of brands. Before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button if you are enjoying the new iGyaan content. And if you are new here and do end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button with the bell notification turned to all notifications so that you get future videos from us as well. Let's get started. In this video, we have the OnePlus 11 starting up at $56,999. We also have the Pixel 7 Pro, which starts off at $75,999 as the price. And then we have the Xiaomi 13 Pro, which starts off at $80,000. And then we have the iPhone 14 Pro, which, yes, I'm choking because the price is $1,19,000 to start off with. So all four of these phones have flagship capabilities, but let's talk a little bit more about how they look and they feel. So as far as build quality is concerned, the iPhone 14 Pro has a stainless steel, medical grade stainless steel frame, and it also has a ceramic shield glass on the front as well as the back. The iPhone 14 Pro also has an IP68 rating, which is rated for up to 6 meters of depth for up to 30 minutes, which is the most out of all of the devices that are over here in this comparison. The looks of a device are subjective and you may have a different opinion, but out of the four devices over here, the iPhone 14 Pro, according to me, looks the best out of the lot, is also the best built out of the lot in terms of the materials and the quality of things used to assemble the device. Moving on, the second competitor as far as price is concerned, the Xiaomi 13 Pro also has a metal build, more of an aluminum alloy, and you do have Corning Gorilla Glass Victus both on the front as well as the back. The phone offers an IP68 water protection, but it's only rated for 1.5 meters for 30 minutes as opposed to the 6 meters we saw on the iPhone. This is a fairly good looking phone, but it has a weird angle on the back, and the camera bump doesn't really sit properly according to me, but it's definitely one of the second best looking phones because the next phone we are talking about is the Pixel 7 Pro, and this also has Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, a metal frame, and IP68 rating, which is 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. This, according to me, is the least good looking out of the lot, but again, looks can be subjective, and to you, the Pixel could be the most good looking phone. And I'm sure you're going to let me know in the comments below anyway. Next up, we have the OnePlus 11, which I think is at par with the Xiaomi 13 Pro as far as looks are concerned. This does bring back that effect of the sandstone finish that came out with the original OnePlus phone, although it doesn't feel as nice as that. But you do have a really nice looking camera bump over here with the 4 camera slots, out of which 3 are cameras, 1 is not. And you do have the Hasselblad branding there. This does not have an IP68 rating. It has only an IP64 rating, which means that you cannot even immerse this in water. It's only splash resistant, but all of them do share the same level of dust resistance. Moving on, as far as displays are concerned, I think the best calibrated display out of these definitely goes to the iPhone. It is an LTPO display with the Super Retina XDR OLED panel that Apple calls it. This has a pretty interesting resolution, trying to give you that 460 pixels per inch density, which looks fantastic. And you also get 120 Hertz of refresh rate, basically on all of these devices. The color calibration out of the box for the iPhone is the best according to me. You also have the True Tone mapping for the True Tone display. And then you also have HDR and Dolby Vision capabilities. Apart from the fact that this phone also has a 2000 nits of peak brightness, with 8000 nits of HBM or typical brightness for everyday use. The Xiaomi 13 Pro comes in at a second, which does also offer up an LTPO OLED display with 120 Hertz of refresh rate. You do have 1900 nits of peak brightness, which is great for indoors as well as outdoors. And you also do have a slightly stronger 1200 nits of average brightness. Next up, we have the Pixel 7 Pro with a 6.7-inch display again LTPO, again 120 Hertz. It is an OLED. It does have 1000 nits of nominal brightness as well as 1500 nits of peak brightness. So as far as peak brightness is concerned, third in terms of the lot. You're also seeing a lot warmer tone on the display, and I think one of the poorest calibrations out of the factory for the display as far as color is concerned is on the Pixel 7 Pro. out of these 4 devices, according to me. Moving on to the OnePlus 11, you get the same size display as the other 2 Android phones over here, and you still get an LTPO display, but this time around it's an LTPO 3 display, and peak brightness is the lowest at 1300 nits with an average brightness of 500 and an HVM brightness of 800 nits, which does put it at the lowest point, but as far as the display technology is concerned, LTPO 3 is definitely the newest. And then this also has incredible touch sampling apart from the 120 Hz of refresh rate. So all 3 of the Android phones over here have a 1440p display, whereas the iPhone has a different resolution altogether with an 1179 pixel on the vertical side. But you do get also the lowest PPI in the iPhone with 460, whereas the other devices, starting with the Pixel 7 that starts at 512 pixels per inch, you go up to about 520 pixels per inch for the other 2 devices. You also have the option of picking up a iPhone 14 Pro Max if you are willing to pull out money from your gold line pockets. You have that option as well. That'll give you a larger display, slightly more resolution, and much larger battery life as well. And of course, clout. Lots and lots of clout. As far as performance is concerned, 3 of the 4 devices here are running on 4nm chips, including the iPhone, and the Pixel 7 Pro runs on a 5nm process chip, which is the Tensor G2. From day-to-day performance capabilities, the iPhone is the best optimized because it runs iOS, which is originally only made for the iPhone, and you have the best day-to-day experience. It's been about 8-9 months since we started using this device, and it has not slowed down, so the usage experience is the same as the first day today, and that makes this an impressive device just from a use case scenario. Gaming is also excellent on iPhones. It has been for a while, and from the good old PUBG days to today, if you're planning on playing games, if you have that game available on the iPhone, it just runs better and smoother. And so as far as gaming is concerned, this manages that. It manages battery really well. So performance, and we've not seen any kind of overheating or heating up in day-to-day usage. So as far as performance is concerned, I think the iPhone does sort of sit separately from the other 3 devices, also because of the operating system, but also because of the sheer optimization that Apple has done for the hardware. Next up is the Xiaomi 13 Pro. This runs MIUI, which in itself tends to slow down after a period of time. But Xiaomi has made some considerable improvements in their user interface and offers some really nice optimizations to improve the overall experience. But they also include certain things like bloatware and ads and all those other things that do tend to lower the experience, even though it's not been there for the Xiaomi 13 Pro as much, but it exists as a MIUI byproduct. You're also getting the Snapdragon Series 8 Gen 2 with one of the highest performing chips, again built on 4nm. Day-to-day usage is good, and it's been a couple of months since this phone came out. It still feels as fast as responsive as we originally started using it. So again, no issues there whatsoever. The Pixel 7 Pro, it runs on Google's Tensor G2 chip, again 5nm chip. And this also scores the lowest with respect to benchmarks. So we ran benchmarks on all of these devices, and the Pixel 7 Pro comes in at the lowest. But if you're going by benchmark numbers, then the iPhone also comes in as the second lowest. But synthetic benchmarks are not really a representation of day-to-day usage, because the Pixel 7 Pro, even though it scores the lowest, is one of the best performing Android devices. I think everyone is unanimous when it comes to the everyday day-to-day usage of Android, because Android is built around a Pixel device, or a Pixel device is built around Android, and you get that experience out of the box with the Pixel 7 Pro. The OnePlus 11 also offers a very impressive user experience, because it does run more or less a stock Android with a few custom elements added by OnePlus. Of course, the skinning and the theming is there, but it's not as aggressive as MIUI. And OnePlus devices also tend to get beta upgrades really quickly, so you can already start using Android 14 on this, while others are still figuring out their update schedule. So those are things that do set this apart, and it also runs the Series 8 Gen 2, which is extremely performant, and it stands second in benchmarks as far as synthetic benchmarks are concerned. And if you're gaming on the OnePlus 11 or the Xiaomi 13 Pro, you will get a consistent gaming experience with basically smooth outcomes, no dropped frames, any of those issues. The Pixel 7 Pro did struggle with gaming a little bit, with dropping some frames and getting stutters here and there. And that has just been an inherent issue with Pixel 7, with Pixel 7 Pro since the time it was launched, because the chip is basically not as performance oriented as the Snapdragon series chips, especially the Series 8 Gen 2. So both the OnePlus 11 and the Xiaomi 13 Pro are excellent for gaming, and so is the iPhone. If you're planning on buying a phone purely for gaming, the Pixel 7 Pro should be your last choice. Out of all of these phones, the iPhone 14 Pro has the lowest battery at 3800. And again, if your gold-lined pockets allow you, then you can pick the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which will give you a much larger battery. But the charging speed remains the same with 20 watts at max, giving you about 50% battery life in about 30 minutes. The Xiaomi 13 Pro and the OnePlus 11 both have really fast charging, giving you about 100% battery in less than half an hour, with the Xiaomi 13 Pro promising full 100% in just 19 minutes with the 120 watt charger, despite there being a 5000 milliamp hour battery in here. And you get a similar type of experience with the OnePlus 11 with a 5000 milliamp hour battery and 100 watts of charging. The Pixel 7 Pro, much like the iPhone, has only 23 watts of charging, but because it is the larger variant, you do get a 5000 milliamp hour battery. And out of all of these phones, battery life is more or less same. The OnePlus 11 and the Pixel 7 do tend to heat up in day-to-day usage, so it does reduce the battery life a little bit quicker. The iPhone 14 Pro and the Xiaomi 13 Pro manage their battery really well, with the iPhone 14 Pro giving a consistent 5 to 6 hours of day-to-day use. But the one thing I need to mention is that Apple has done a great job of optimizing battery charging capabilities and overall battery health. This time around, almost 9 months in, the battery health of this iPhone is still at 100%, whereas in comparison, the iPhone 13 Pro was already down to about 91% in just 9 months last year. The Xiaomi 13 Pro has a fantastic battery as well. It'll last you more than 1 day if you're a conservative user. But if you're using these phones to their extreme, expect upwards of 5 to 6 hours of battery life on all of these devices, whereas the iPhone will definitely be on the lower end of that spectrum, and the Xiaomi 13 Pro giving one of the best battery results overall. All of these phones also offer wireless charging except the OnePlus 11. iPhone has 15 watts of MagSafe charging, whereas Xiaomi offers 50 watts of fast charging via their wireless charger. And then you do have the Google Pixel 7 Pro, which does offer 23 watts of wireless charging. This phone not wirelessly charging in any way whatsoever. Two of these phones, the Pixel 7 Pro and Xiaomi 13 Pro, offer reverse wireless charging, and while we know that the iPhone can reverse wirelessly charge, especially their MagSafe power banks, it is not openly available to anyone else to use, so you can't place your earphones or anything else to wirelessly reverse charge on the iPhone 14 Pro. OnePlus 11 has left this chat. Let's talk about cameras. I know that's why you are here, and that's what we are going to talk about next. So all of these phones have similar cameras, with 50 megapixel being that range where all of these cameras sit, with the iPhone this year coming in with a 48 megapixel sensor. The first time they've gone out of the 12 megapixel in almost 5 years now. So you do get that on the Pro models, and you're getting a 48 megapixel main sensor. All of the other three phones have a 50 megapixel sensor, whereas Xiaomi offers 50 megapixels on all three of their cameras, which is fantastic, I guess, because the more the pixels, the better the picture, right? No, it's not true. Again, image results are subjective, and so are video results, and we let you be the judge of the overall result. But if we talk about image one, and this is where I'll give you a little bit of perspective, the OnePlus 11 did manage to get a really nice and crisp shot, but there is a lot of oversaturation in here. So did the Pixel. It managed a fantastic image, but the colors are just not accurate. The Xiaomi 13 Pro has a mode called the Leica Authentic mode. This gives you a really nice color reproduction and one of the closest actual real-life colors that we have seen out of these four devices, with the iPhone 14 Pro coming in at second, which is not giving the most accurate color, because the Xiaomi 13 Pro does manage the most accurate color in this image. As far as portrait images are concerned, the first image we took from the Pixel 7 Pro struggled quite a lot, despite the fact that the Google Pixel uses a lot of software-based portrait generation. but the second image came out really nicely. Here are all 4 portrait shots stacked up for your comparison. And then let's talk about video. All of these phones offer 4K 60 FPS video capabilities with impressive image stabilization, with both the OnePlus 11 and the Xiaomi 13 Pro offering 8K as an option, which I'm not sure if anyone is using at 30 FPS, but you do have that on these devices. They're also the only 2 devices that do have a partnership with legacy camera brands, Hasselblad for OnePlus and Leica for Xiaomi. Leica previously was in partnership with Huawei to make smartphones. Then they switched around a little bit and now they finally settled with Xiaomi. So the Xiaomi 13 Pro does get the Leica branded camera. Both these phones, the OnePlus 11 and Xiaomi 13 Pro, have their respective branded shooting options. So whereas OnePlus does offer Hasselblad filters, which make the image look more like it came out of a Hasselblad camera, according to Hasselblad, I guess. And Xiaomi 13 Pro does have the Leica Authentic mode. I feel that Xiaomi 13 Pro does a better job with the Leica Authentic mode to give you a more consistent real-world image representation. Look at some of these other samples that we have for you to make the best judgment for yourself. The telephoto is the most on the Pixel 7 Pro with a 5x zoom. In the 5x zoom on the Pixel 7 Pro, we also see that the HDR performance is not the greatest, with the sky completely blowing out, whereas the rest of the phones manage a fantastic HDR. Again, be a judge for yourself and pick your favorite camera out of the lot. And with that, let's move on to our conclusion. So which phone should you pick? Which is the best phone according to us? Which phone will I recommend? And while you want me to do that, I'm not going to fall for that trap, and you know it. If you're just looking at sheer materials, build quality, some of the features that are available, the smoothness of the overall experience, and timely updates for up to 5 years, the iPhone is the best recommendation when it comes to that. But with that, you're getting restrictions of iOS. And if you're not in the Apple ecosystem, you're sort of restricted in a little space with not getting or making use of the most of the interesting features that an iPhone can offer. But you're getting fantastic cameras, you're getting really good performance, day-to-day usage performance, and you're getting excellent video quality along with the security that you get with Apple devices and quick access that you get with Face ID. On the Android side of things, the Pixel 7 Pro again offers the best Android experience out of the box. A lot of AI is built in to Pixel devices that is designed to help you in your everyday tasks. And the camera also uses a ton of AI to improve the camera results. The Pixel 7 Pro becomes the most obvious choice if you're looking for the best no-nonsense experience from a phone that offers Android. And then if you're looking for sheer performance, if you want gaming and if you want just versatility and a really nice display with really good cameras, I would say that the Xiaomi 13 Pro has surprised us quite a lot with its really nice build quality and overall performance capabilities, fast charging, fast wireless charging, and everything sort of built in. And while the OnePlus 11 is the cheapest option, it is no slouch when it comes to performance or everyday use. The cameras do seem to be a little more oversaturated, and they also seem to be a little more digitally processed, not giving a consistent result shot after shot. But it is a really fantastic option, barring wireless charging. It's extremely sleek, well made, and has a lot of performance and a fantastic user interface as well, along with the fast charging capability. All 4 of these phones do come out on top, but there are some shortcomings in every device, and based on that you can make a decision. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, smash a like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.